Hello, Arthur.
As of the making of this video on September 13th, 2022, Ukrainian armed forces have delivered Russia its greatest tactical defeat since it failed to take Kyiv at the start of the war. Many in the West are calling Ukraine's recent counteroffensive game-changing, and even Russian propagandists have expressed great alarm and concern over the success of the offensive, going as far as to admit Russian forces were forced to retreat from the Kharkiv region. But how in the world was this counteroffensive so successful? And does this risk the use of nuclear weapons by a desperate Russia? Ukraine's counteroffensive began on September 6th, but it had been gestating for weeks before. To much fanfare, Ukraine announced a significant buildup of forces in the south, aimed at retaking Kherson. The city is a strategically important hub in the south of Ukraine that would allow Ukrainian forces to push even deeper into the south and even attack Crimea with long-range munitions. With an attack on the Saki air base in Crimea in early August that left many Russian planes destroyed or damaged, an attack on Kherson seemed like a serious threat. The buildup of Ukrainian forces prompted Russia to redeploy 10 battalion tactical groups to the south to reinforce the region. It's still too early and details remain classified, but it's beginning to look as if the attack on Kherson had the goal of overextending the Russian line over the Dnieper River, or perhaps Ukraine simply exploited weakened Russian positions in the north. What's for sure is that while the attack on Kherson has made some modest progress, Russia has absolutely been routed around Kharkiv, with full-scale retreat by the Russians so chaotic and panicked that tens of millions of dollars of equipment and ammunition were simply left behind. The key to Ukraine's success begins with one weapon system, the high-mobility artillery rocket system, developed and fielded by the United States and provided to Ukraine in small quantities at the start of the summer. Wary of committing large amounts of sophisticated equipment that might end up destroyed or captured by superior Russian firepower, the dozen or so HIMARS units initially supplied were put to immediate and cleverly devastating use by the Ukrainians. HIMARS combines far superior range over traditional artillery with precision, allowing Ukrainian forces to hit Russia where it hurt most, with a range of about 57 miles. Using standard rockets, or 190 miles, using the Army Tactical Missile System, HIMARS enabled Ukraine to reach out to enemy rear areas and devastate command posts and supply hubs. Russia's senior officers, who were already an endangered species on the Ukrainian battlefield, were now being assassinated from dozens of miles away. This forced the relocation of command posts 100 or more miles away from the front lines. This simple move was devastating to an army with a heavy top-down command structure. Russian forces lack a strong non-commissioned officer corps, thanks to their heavy reliance on conscripts and difficulty keeping professional soldiers interested in re-enlistment. This means that the senior officers often have to be on or near the front lines to ensure their orders are carried out. But now it was suddenly very dangerous for them to be anywhere near the front, forcing them back and giving them less operational control over the units. But we'll get more into that when we discuss the reason Ukrainian units are more successful than Russian units. It wasn't just command posts that had to be moved, but ammunition and fuel depots as well. With several weeks of shaping operations, Ukraine set the stage for the counteroffensive. Russia, showing incredible ineptitude, largely stood by and allowed these shaping operations to continue nearly unchallenged. The end result was catastrophic, as Ukraine destroyed huge amounts of logistical supplies and forced Russia to move its supply hubs far from the front. This had the direct effect of limiting the maneuverability of Russian units, who now had to wait twice or even 3 times as long for resupply as they normally would. Being forced to sit on your hands is a good way to lose.